I love Jodi Day.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Welcome,
your
everybody.
yeah. Hello, Jodi. It's Tuesday. It's a little past noon Eastern time. It's a little bit past 6 p.m. my time, and I am downstairs. Uh, Now I do have this as a background because you don't want. I might as well.
just show them. Just do it.
Yeah, hold on.
You got a Chandler Remington background.
Yeah.
uh,
uh, yeah, so I'll do this instead.
Vielhammer's in there. Everyone loves Jodi Day. Everyone, I hope so. I love Jodi Day. It's a time
Yeah.
to step back and reflect on our lives. Remember a simpler time 10 years ago when trials were conducted properly and enjoy the insanity that is Jodi Arias, all of her holes and all of her stories,
Hmm?
and the holes in those stories.
Yeah, that's, yeah. There's a lot of holes in this story.
Yes, yes, there is. We are
Oh,
finally off day 18. Jeez,
oh,
that was a long time coming. That was a week and a half to get through
yeah,
day 18. Now we're
yeah,
on day 19.
oh,
Jody's
yeah,
still on the stand, still on direct.
yeah. And she
I don't
still
know.
haven't even. I mean, we have to get closer and closer to the actual events.
Yeah,
Where I mean, but I'm not because now they have discussed her hair color and stuff like that, which would bring us up to the when she rented the car. So we should be there either not day 19 or day 20. Should be. But Jesus Christ, this is boring.
did Jung just say okay, bye? Dave, get a sign that says harems only. Okay, bye. Well, hi, Jung. Bye, Jung. Um, so when I put the treehouse sign up,
Mm,
Farrell quickly said that she was going to send me a sign. Haven't received it yet, but Farrell Housewife should be sending me a sign, and I'm going to wait
mm,
until we get it and see what it is before I go any more signs. But
mm, yes, I still have construction work outside. I mean, yeah, it's not. There's
isn't it
nobody
weird
trying
that I
to get.
miss that sound? I in a being in a for coming from the construction industry, I love the sound of construction.
Mm. And there's absolutely nobody trying to get away from anybody.
Hmm.
Oh,
Remember to like both of our channel. Well, maybe just like mine, but remember we're doing a like competition,
mm,
and so you can go ahead and watch on Nick's, but like mine,
mm.
you can give me the super chats, and you can give me the member gifts as well. That would be great.
Sorry, Dave. What did you say?
Oh, that's awesome! I'll just go ahead and put it in your chat for everyone.
Yep.
Um,
And
Valhammer, am I going?
everybody over at David's side, go to me because you know you want it. You want me to win.
Valhammer, I am going to insulate these walls and put some stuff up probably after Halloween
Mm,
because right now I've just got too much going on. But yeah, that is the plan. This is going to be finished. I'm going to install the kitchen over here, and I'm going to do a
mm,
bathroom over there. It's going to look nice when we're done.
mm. Yeah. Uh, you know, uh, we are in October, and I know they're already starting to sale on Christmas decorations, and yeah. But one thing that is amazing is the Swedish julmust.
If you guys like a hybrid between Dr. Pepper and Pepsi, I feel like if I don't know how else to describe it. It's as sweet as Pepsi compared to Coke, and
Mm,
it's got a little
mm,
something in it that reminds me of Dr. Pepper.
yeah, because this is brewed from I believe it's either bread or the remains of beer or something like that. So that's the baseline of it. So you have this. I
Thanks,
don't know.
Irish.
Oh, thank you, Irish, for your $2 super chats. And that puts me in the lead for that segment.
There may be a unknown viewer coming in on my end just to super chat a little bit.
Oh, really? Yourself?
No. Someone unrelated.
Unrelated? Yeah, sure it is. Sure it is. Yeah, but also we are closing in, not closing in, but end of October we have Halloween. Do you have anything planned for Halloween? Because I accidentally bought $500 worth of Halloween costume.
So I am supposed to do a Halloween stream with the expert, and
Okay.
I have a couple of costumes lined up.
Mm.
But I also have a really cool costume that I built a number of years ago, and I want to try to debut it somehow on this. And so I'm thinking a Halloween stream would be cool. My kids are older. The neighborhood, because we're at the end of a cul-de-sac, it's not even really a neighborhood. We don't get a lot of trick-or-treaters, so I figured I could stick out a bowl of candy and then maybe do a stream.
Okay,
I think that would be fun.
But your Halloween is October 31st. Will you be having that stream on the weekend or on the 31st?
If I was to do it, I would do it on the 31st, I feel, unless there's something else coming up.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking of doing something that Saturday because I will probably have work and stuff like that on it because it's a normal Tuesday, I think. Let me check. Yeah, because our All Hallows Eve is November 4th on the weekend past after.
I have to look at my calendar.
Yeah, so
What
I might
day is
do.
Is this a Tuesday?
31st is a Tuesday. On the 4th of November is a Saturday. So I'm thinking of
It's a
having
Jodi
my.
day.
Yeah, it's a Jodi day as well. Are you going to wear Spider-Man underwear?
I want to wear some Spider-Man underwear in honor of Jodi on Halloween.
No, but since I have this with weird Swedish holiday, and since Sweden seems to have this that we don't want the same dates as everybody else, so I will have on the Saturday the 4th, which is also a Jodi day, an All Hallows Eve stream.
All right, sounds
Saturday.
good.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Which means I'm available. That also means should I show off my costume on the 31st, or should I get something else and then have my proper costume on the 4th?
Well, like I said, I have several costumes, and so I kind of have a plan in mind. But now that I know that Halloween itself is on Jodi Day, I might have a different idea for Halloween itself. But I have two already I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for the experts. So I'll be okay. Maybe you could do sort of a lesser and a greater costume, a lesser on a lesser day and a greater on a greater day.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a costume I can do a lesser version of.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I got one that makes me, 8 feet tall, and I don't know how I'm going to fit it in the treehouse, but it's going to be pretty cool if I can get it to function.
Yeah.
Hey, Dirk, welcome. And Soul Souffle.
Oh, nice. For members on the 31st, everyone else later. That's interesting. Yeah, I can do that.
There we go. Yep, that's a good idea. You can do a members only.
Members, we have Jodi, and
Cindy's
then
got a good thing there. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do Jodi at normal time, and then we say, okay, for all you members, now we will start a Halloween stream.
Yeah, we can even redirect everyone after Jodi. Well, Jodi's on a Tuesday, so we go a little earlier.
Yeah.
The problem is that it's a work day for us Americans.
Yeah. It is? I thought this was one of your bigger holidays.
No, it's bigger for some people. It's my favorite holiday, really. Although I haven't been able to celebrate it much, but it's not a government holiday. That's the difference. A government holiday, then everyone gets off work and things.
No. Well, we'll see what we will talk and see what we will do. Thank you, Cindy, for that suggestion. That was
I like that suggestion a lot. Yeah.
And
cool.
you got a new member.
I saw that. Yeah, Dan. Well, he's not new. He's coming back. He's returning.
Okay.
But welcome to another month, I told him.
Okay, but we are now 11 minutes in, so let's start with what we are actually here for. That is listening to someone sawing and hammering in the background. Thank you, Vielhammer Media. Everybody, go over and subscribe to Vielhammer Media. He is the one who has fixed the audio on all the trials, which is amazing. All right, everybody ready?
Ready to go.
Let's go.
So far, we haven't been copyright struck by this song, too, so that's good.
Be seated. The record will show the presence of the jury, the defendant, and all counsel. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Have any of you seen any coverage of this case in the media? Did you hear anything, see anything? Did anyone speak to you about this case whatsoever? I see no hands.
Yeah, by the way,
you may
Vielhammer.
continue with direct examination. Ms. Arias, you are still under oath. Do you understand?
A link to Vielhammer's channel is in my
Good morning.
description.
Before we talk about
Same here.
the break-in at your grandparents' home,
Are we at
I just want to
1.25?
go over a few more text messages this morning.
Pitter, pitter, let's get at her.
In that regard, I want to talk about a text message conversation you had with Mr. Alexander on February 25th. Your Honor, if I may approach.
Is this at 1.25, Nick? You're muted. If you're trying to talk.
We are not on 1.25. I will.
Okay.
Do you recognize those
Yes.
text messages? Okay. Based on your review of those, were you planning on spending time with Mr. Alexander that day?
Yes, that's after I was driving back from visiting with Gus Searcy. I was going to meet with Travis.
Sustained previous.
Was it
Answer
your
the question
plan,
asked of you.
based on what you saw in those text messages, was it your plan to spend time with Mr. Alexander that day?
Yes,
And was it your plan, or were you anticipating that sexual activity would be a part of what was to take place when you met Mr. Alexander that day?
yes.
Ooh, I could go really dark with my Halloween costume for Jodi Day.
And do you remember when these text messages took place?
It was late February. I think that's at the 25th,
Okay.
but it depends on the time. It's 7 hours ahead.
And where were you?
Well, you can go as Travis, and
I was kind of thinking of Travis with like a knife sticking out of his chest, but that's just way too dark. That's just way too dark.
well, your beautiful wife. Well, I don't.
Don't want to give her any ideas.
On the road,
Okay. On the road near where?
maybe somewhere around the Hoover Dam, I think.
Okay. I'm going to move for the admission of Exhibit 442.
I feel like her attorney shaved his head just before this day.
No objection.
442 is admitted.
These people sat here for like 2 months for this trial. The family did.
Now, on that day, you reference a message, the second message down. You talk about a schoolgirl outfit, and then you reference the Spider-Man undies. Was that a reference to the underwear you received for Valentine's Day?
Yes,
looking at the prior message, was it Mr. Alexander's preference that your vagina be hairless?
Yes.
Did he ever explain
Ooh,
why?
risque.
He just said he doesn't like hair.
Okay.
If I'd go as Travis and you go as Jodi with braids and a schoolgirl outfit.
The next conversation I want to show you
I'm good with that.
is exhibit for the record 443. That was a text conversation you had with Mr. Alexander on March 30th, if I may approach.
Irish, why is what
Take a
relevant?
look at that, Ms. Arias, and see if you recognize that.
Oh, yeah. Travis is a pedo because he likes young boys and Spider-Man underwear. If Travis was around today and he saw all the women shaved.
Yes.
And when did that text conversation begin on the 30th, and when did it end?
It began on, it says 1650.
Evidence if she can tell us after looking at that, but not from the item.
In terms of date and time, Ms. Arias, do you remember when that conversation ended?
Ended?
Yes.
It ended on the same day, which would be the 30th.
Forgot, I also stream on Rumble today, and the link to that is in the description of mine.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you rather have view this on Rumble, yeah, go over there, press that thumbs up over there, and I will count that to my total. And
Wait. You know, I always forget to stream to Rumble, and I don't know why. I know it's there, and I always forget. But I need to start doing that more and more.
Yeah.
John has a question, or not, I guess a statement. John Gordon, he's like, I don't understand the defensive strategy here. And I don't either. I know their global strategy is that Travis is an abuser, and therefore she was essentially acting in self-defense at the time. She's going to try to ramp up to, here's this history of abuse, and he was being physically abusive that day, and she had to defend herself. But I don't understand, like John says, the strategy and the way they're getting there. I don't get it. I feel like he had to fight with his client, and this is the compromise. And this, people, is why you let your attorney take the lead. You don't dictate the strategy to your attorney or fight them, because it comes out like this. It's a mess.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the client has the facts. They provide us with the facts. We, of course, investigate, are the facts true? But the strategy has to be ours, because we have different strategies. We have different strength as negotiator, mediator, trial, and stuff like that. So whatever happens, it must be our call on that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just by way of example, I had a client that came to me after an improper hearing where he lost custody of his kid just outright. And he gave me all the facts. We filed the motion. And in 2 weeks' time, I said, you got to sit there. You got to say absolutely nothing. And I'm going to do all the talking. He got his kids back. Can't go into the specifics, but that's why you hire an attorney. Don't freaking argue with them. Just sit there and smile.
Sure, Solomon. Yeah, my background is a sushi place, apparently. I have no idea. I thought it was a bar.
It does kind of look like a sushi bar in the background. I thought it was like his kitchen. We're like, ooh, it got all done.
Oh, it looks fishy.
It looks fishy.
Let's never mind.
And everyone needs to listen to Josie.
It would be 10:38, even though it says 17:38. It's Greenwich time here.
Do you remember where you were when you were having this text conversation?
No, I don't remember. I was probably at my house. I was in Mesa. I know that. I hadn't moved yet.
You spoke the other day of a conversation where you hung up on Mr. Alexander. Is this a discussion about that conversation?
Yes.
And refresh our memories. It's been a few days. Why did you hang up on him?
He was swearing at me.
Hi, Solomon. Good yesterday.
4:43.
Yeah, that was a great stream.
Objection, hearsay.
Approach, please.
Hey, Dirk with 1 gifted membership. That's 2 up. Napoleon? I don't know. STP got it. Yeah, Solomon, last night was great. I'm glad Nick was able to stick around for most of it and watch. The clips you guys did was great. It told the story. You went through the problems with the witnesses. That was a great clip show, essentially. And it hit all the highlights. That was really good.
Yeah.
And I reached out to Nick too and Bronca, and I
Yeah.
told them in March I was going to rewatch the trial if they want to participate. Hopefully they get you on sooner, but just in case.
Yeah, and Lawcom, another streamer, has good takes on difficulties. He uses examples about one of his videos. He said at one point his elderly father or grandfather fell, and it took 2 well-built firefighters to get him off the ground, and that was like a 140-pound man. But yet the prosecution wants us to believe that one person could lift 270-pound plus blood-soaked rug without leaving any traces or driplets or drag marks.
By the way, we're doing that when I go to Sweden in September or December. I'm carrying you in a rug.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we can try to do that.
There's no way it's happening, but I'm going to try, damn it.
Yeah. I mean, I will get myself into overalls, and then we can pour some beet juice or something over all of it. No, not beet juice. That would be horrible to clean. But something, yeah, and just show how ridiculous that claim is. And I'm not even 270 pounds yet. I think, damn it, do I have sound off? No. That's a long sidebar.
Yeah, they're doing a long sidebar there.
I wonder if we can get the transcripts of the sidebars.
That would be interesting. We should definitely do that after this trial. We should get the transcripts.
Sarah, if you could
Let me
just
reach out to the court.
read Exhibit 443 to yourself for us for a moment.
It's a Mesa court, right? Mesa, Arizona. There's like one county in Arizona that handles 90% of the cases. Yeah, I try to skip through when she's just sitting there reading. Not that you have to. Or we could fill in and answer questions.
Okay.
Let's see.
Ms. Arias, during that string of text messages, do you see where you apologize to Mr. Alexander and tell him to have a great day?
Yes.
Why do you do that?
I just wanted to end this thing going back and forth, and I said just tried to sign off, kind of.
And the confrontation?
Yes.
How did this confrontation affect you?
It makes me, well, like I said, whenever he would get angry, I started shaking again. So it would bother me in that regard. And it was like, whenever he got mad, it was like it was like being in an earthquake. Like it starts and you don't know how long it's going to last or how bad it's going to get until it's all done. So I just didn't want it to get as bad as some of our arguments and fights have gotten in the past. Even though we were 1,000 miles apart, it's still, you know, his words are worse sometimes, usually.
Ms. Arias, could you take a look at the back? What exhibit number is that? Just
443.
Judge, at this time I'm going to move to admit exhibit 443.
Objection, hearsay.
Let's sustain the objection without more foundation.
You said even though you were 1,000 miles away, it still affected you, right?
Yes.
Were you afraid?
Yes, I was afraid, not for my physical safety, but just afraid of, intimidated by him.
What were you afraid of?
I was afraid that he would get angrier and start, maybe that he would continue to swear at me in the text messages, or that he would just start calling me names again, or I don't know, when he got angry, it just kept on and on and on until he was done blowing off all his steam.
Is there a way for you to describe for us how that affected you so deeply?
It was just, I felt bullied, like it was just miserable because I don't know, I didn't stop talking to him, but we would talk and then he would be nice and then he would be mean and then he would be nice and then he would be mean. It was just, I don't know, it just really affected me. I can't really describe it.
Hey, Malcolm, happy Jodi Day.
Was there anything about what he said in these text conversations that affected you that day?
This one particular?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
Again, Your Honor, I'm going to move to enter in exhibit 443.
He wants
Again,
to
lack
leave
of
this
foundation
witness so
and
bad.
hearsay.
Approach, please.
Salvador, yeah, let me know if the transcripts are prepared. They should be prepared because this case is old and it's been appealed so many times. So, or if you could just give me a phone number of the person to call, I can call and order them. 50 cents a page. They should have an attorney discount. Hey, Indigo. Don't use Jodi and deeply in any context. So I asked this question earlier, but since we have a little bit of downtime, you guys put in the chat, we're going to do Jodi Day is on Halloween. And so I'm going to do a costume for Jodi Day. What Jodi-based or Jodi-inspired costume should I have?
Don't ask me to wear weird ties, because even though I'm a large man, I don't want to come dressed as Mr. Mooney.
Yeah. But see, the thing is you'd have to shave quite a bit.
That won't happen.
The three-hole wonder. I don't know how. How would I do 3 holes? See, I was thinking originally I was going to come as Travis.
I know how I would do 3 holes, but that would
be the
those
legs.
3 holes were no, those 3 holes wouldn't be on me, and
I need a Jodi-inspired costume. Naked on a bed. All right.
Ms. Arias, if
taking a shower.
you'd be so kind as to take a look at exhibit 443. Look at the
Don't forget
bottom
to
of
hit
page
the thumbs
72.
up on both channels.
Yeah.
At text message 4569, where you say, "I'm sorry, have a great day." That's what
Yes.
we're referring to a moment ago.
Yes.
Okay. And based on what you told us, it was your hope that this would lead to an end in the confrontation, and it did it?
Not right away, no.
And as it relates to the exhibits, the outgoing, based on what you testified to earlier, the outgoing messages, the outgoing messages relate to what he says to you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. If you could begin reading what he said to you on page 73, that being text message 11857.
Read it.
Yeah, of course. I don't put ads into my live stream. I don't know why YouTube chooses to put ads in my live stream. I got an email about they're starting to roll that out eventually, but apparently my little channel is one of them.
Let me know if anyone's getting ads during my live streams. Not many people have talked about it, but I don't want it
there. What I do is the day after this stream, for the replay crew, yes, I put in one ad every 45 minutes or something. But during live stream, it's just interrupting. And I can see it on the counter. We are up at 70, 74 total. And all of a sudden, I see that ads, boom, 60 people. So 10, 12 people gone every time there's an ad. That's a bit infuriating. Yeah, let's continue.
Yes, please.
You stressing me out on a daily basis is getting really freaking old. You cry over everything and you dump countless bullcrap on me. I wasn't appreciative of another thing to deal with because of you. It's easy crap to fix, but you like to ruin every day of mine and I'm tired of it. You texting about something time sensitive is just a way to reel me back into the bullcrap. Otherwise, you would have just told me. I'm sick of your soap opera and your ways. You purposely try to ruin every day. It seems you're getting good at it.
How do you respond?
Read my response?
Yes.
I'm just as
Maybe
tired of your
Joseph
hateful
Smith.
words. Do you think it's a day in the park for me when you're mean? I was just bragging to a girlfriend about how awesome and cool you are.
What does he say in response?
If you're tired of me, leave me alone.
And your response?
Whatever, Travis.
Do you say more than whatever, Travis?
Yes.
What else do you say?
I hope you realize you got upset over nothing. I was just telling you about one thing. I was still half asleep.
Hold on here. I just got some interesting here on Twitter that might be something for Vielhammer.
Jodi Arias. Wait,
No.
what now?
Jack Ryan here says, I believe I found something in the Murdoch trial that has been overlooked. I can't understand how something so simple appears to have been overlooked. It's driving me crazy, blah, 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 blah. Are you aware other voices can be heard on the Alex
Oh,
tape?
the Alex recording?
Yeah.
Ooh. You know,
That
I thought
would be-
I heard other voices. I mean, well, we know Mama is there, and we know Son is there, and we know dogs are barking, and we know Alex is there. So
Yeah.
who else is there?
Yeah.
The
So
shed
if-
video, it sounds like, yeah, Vielhammer.
Mm.
That would be interesting if we could get our hands on the raw recording, which we should be able to because now it's an exhibit.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what Vielhammer will need. Not something that's been processed through something that's been processed through something that's been processed.
Yeah. That would be interesting. No, I just saw it and okay, that would be interesting.
Hey, Danielle.
Yeah. But
Welcome
that's
to
it.
Jodi Day.
Welcome to Jodi Day.
And the next thing I knew, you were raising your voice and swearing. If I had been more coherent, then maybe I wouldn't have hung up on you. I hate that you're right. Maybe I would have made a better decision. But I've already apologized twice and you not once. You're just choosing to be stubborn and remain pissed off.
Does he respond to that?
Yes.
Do me a favor, then take a look at text message number 11859. I believe it's on the last page of the exhibit. Tell us how he responds.
I don't ever want to get another freaking text from you again or a call unless it's an apology and a thank you for constantly having to take on your never ceasing problems, not one freaking more.
And that was on March 30th of 2008, correct?
Yes.
After March 30th of 2008, do you speak or text with him again?
Yes.
When?
Later that day, or maybe shortly thereafter, a couple hours.
And was there any discussion about this fight?
I don't think we discussed the details anymore. It was just apologies.
Okay. I want to talk to you about a text message conversation you had with Mr. Alexander on the 7th of April, 2008, all right?
Okay.
And this would have been after you had moved away from Mesa, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I was still on the road on that date.
Okay. And that was the night you were in Hollister spending the night with your sister. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. If I may approach, Your Honor, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 444. If you could be so kind, Ms. Arias, as to review this exhibit. Give it to yourself.
Goes to the Travis was playing her, stringing her along to maintain access. I would assume, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yes,
You recognize the conversation?
I do, but it was actually on the 6th that it took place.
Okay. So the difference being the difference in time that we talked about previously with text messages?
Yeah, they're 7 hours ahead.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to have Exhibit 442 moved into evidence.
Actually, here's the relevance.
Counsel, lunch approach.
Okay.
More, so there's a lot of sidebars here. I don't remember
No.
so many. Okay, I moved my chair. I was hanging out in the corner, but I was a little too relaxed. Don't forget to
Sir,
hit that like and
you move your
subscribe.
microphone to your right. Thank you. You may proceed.
Tell all your friends about us too.
Yeah. Share this on your
Let's
social
talk
media.
a little bit
Oh, both
about
of them, Jamie.
Excuse me, Mr. Hermy, I think it's 444. Would you look at that document?
Yes, 444.
my apologies, Your Honor. Let's take a look at, I want to talk a little bit about the circumstances, things that were going on the 6th.
That was
without
not
telling
an
us
ad.
what was said in these text messages.
That was Vielhammer.
If you could review them and just tell us what was going on between yourself and Mr. Alexander, looking at the text messages, referring specifically to text messages on page 77.
I was on the road after leaving Mesa with my U-Haul truck. He wanted to know where I was and how far that was from Wairika. I let him know.
And you were moving, what you told us earlier, you were moving to get away from him, right?
Yes, that was one of the main reasons.
Quit leading.
And he contacts you the same day, and this is the
Remember
day that he flipped you off as you were driving away. Is that correct, what you
It
told
was-
us earlier?
I think it was the next day. I think I slept in the truck one of those nights.
And then looking at this exhibit, there appears to be a gap in time between message 12295 and message 12308. Can you explain that gap in time for us?
Yeah, it looks like it's 2 hours and 18
She
minutes.
crying?
If I did my math right. Just,
You're
Yeah.
just driving and not responding or sleeping or what
no, I
was
was
going
in, I was at my sister's house already. We had texted.
You're muted.
Thank
Was
you
she
so
like-
much, Iris, for your Rumble rant. $2 Rumble rant. Okay, nice. Thank you so much.
Okay, I see how it is. I see how it is. I'm gonna start sharing my stuff to Rumble and counting that.
Let's see here.
Vielhammer, you should be able to FOIA the court for the original recording, or at least something better than what's been processed a few times. Curious
Yeah.
to see what you find there. And I just put
Yeah.
a link to the Give Send Go in my chat as well for Zachariah Anderson.
Yeah, because if somebody can hear it from the Law and C word, then having the original recording, I'm not. Vielhammer is a magician. He gets sound from where there's crap, and I don't know how he does it, and I don't. Yeah, we are not court. We don't demand metadata, but it would be really interesting. And it's surprising that the defense didn't catch it, didn't try to enhance it.
Yeah, on the Murdoch thing, definitely. But you know, resources, right? Everything's resources. Every trial is an exercise in budgetary restraint and resource allocation and things like that.
Yeah.
So souffle. Yeah, we've been talking about getting like Danny or somebody who's familiar, Danny on direct, or someone who's familiar with LDS to come on to one of these streams. Maybe they can offer some insight.
Yeah, because there are some strange things going here, because they don't really go into that much into the LDS. Just that she was baptized, he did this, he got into trouble with the bishop, just to have some background information.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, Vices I know is LDS as well.
Yeah, Vices too. Yeah.
Did kind of said goodnight sort of thing, and I went to sleep.
Okay. And you woke up then to text message 12308.
Yes, it came through broken up in many text messages. It was really long.
So was your phone not on silent, or did this message actually wake you up, or did you wake up and check your phone?
It woke me up because it kept beeping because so many kept coming through.
Vielhammer says, sounds like there is a fourth person. That would break that case.
Oh, it does. I read that and said it doesn't sound like. Very interesting. Vielhammer's got to weigh in for a little short clip that's gonna go viral. Get that out there, man.
Yeah, get it and get it out there. Just pointing it out. I mean, yeah. And then he will be hired as a sound enhancement guy for trials.
Yeah.
Because as in the Young Thug, getting an expert in something isn't hard, apparently. Covering the Young Thug, where they had this forensic video expert. But after cross-examination during the Tolbert hearing, all he did was take the video, stop it, screenshot it, put it into Photoshop, and enhance it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get an expert in on that, imagine what a guy like Vielhammer could do in the he can make bank in that area.
It wasn't on silent.
Okay. You and I'm going to move to exhibit 444.
Council, please approach.
More sidebar, more sidebar. It's almost, I wish we would have anticipated the sidebar. Then we could have had this conversation during the sidebar. But yes, I've been, Danny's been doing her thing. You know, she had some vacations and stuff like that, but she's back streaming now fairly regularly. And her and I have been chatting about doing something together. It'd be nice to bring her in on one of these streams to get her insight. Maybe there's a Saturday. In fact, I'll reach out to her and see if she's available this Saturday. Maybe she can offer some insight.
Yeah, absolutely. Can try to invite you.
Yes, sir. It's drawing your attention back to this gap in time between text message 12295 and text message 12308. You mentioned you were at your sister's house and then you went to sleep, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Just to clarify then, you didn't have any conversations with Mr. Alexander, be it through instant messages or telephone, between these text messages. Is that correct?
Definitely not through instant message, and I'm pretty sure we didn't have any phone calls between that time.
Okay. So you're spending time with your sister and you woke up to text message 12308. Is that right?
Yes, I was staying in a separate bedroom and I had gone to sleep by then.
Judge, I'm going to again move to admit exhibit 444.
Exhibit 444 is admitted.
I can't wait for cross either Indigo. Cross is gonna be
I want to
amazing.
discuss now with you the text message that you woke up to when you were in Hollister with your sister. Had you told Mr. Alexander you were moving away to try to get him out of your life?
No, I wouldn't have told him that.
Why not?
Well, I told him that we should need to spend more time apart, but not to get him out of my life.
But that's
I
what
have
you
my
want.
handcuffs.
Not to get him out of my life. I wanted us to be able to have a healthy friendship.
And again, just so it doesn't show up here,
This is like the person that
we're
says,
talking about,
"You're breaking up with me."
April-
No, I'm breaking up
at
with you
this time, then
first.
we're talking about April 7th, or early morning hours?
It would have been the 6th, 4, 3, 2, 1, 12. Like, I think 10 or
Okay,
11 at night.
okay. So you woke up to this message,
No, she cannot answer a question.
says, do not call me, do not text me anything. And is this, there's reference to Michelle K. Is that the fight you talked about earlier? He was mad that somebody was saying something about him or outing him as dating other women. Is that correct?
Yeah, her name was Maria, not Michelle. She mentioned he had been dating Lisa.
He says, after tomorrow, it's going to be really bad for you. Let me get it here. He says, after tomorrow, it's going to be really bad for you. Time to spit it out. What was he referencing?
He wanted to know who Marie was. I didn't know who she was. She came into my work. I worked at Ruby Tuesdays. She was sitting in another person's section, and I brought her some food,
Pause it for a second.
and she recognized me. So there was no way I could find out who she was. She was there and gone. We didn't get into details about his life like he had thought. He just mentioned, oh yeah, Travis had dated Lisa,
Can you pause it for a second?
which brought up the conversation. And so that's what he wanted me to spit out was, who is
So,
Okay, so she's given this explanation. I was able to grab part of the text. It's 15 minutes. It takes you to get the info, but you won't take 15 minutes. Why? Because it is an effing lie. So either text me you that you are ready to tell the truth, or give me your imaginary friend with the worst BS story you have ever told, or leave me alone. It's like a lie like no other. It's a lie like no other. It's a freaking foolish. Oh, it is freaking foolish. Sorry. There is no way out of it. You have screwed up your story so bad you can't mend it. That's an outgoing message from Jodi to Travis. So this is not like the casual conversation that she's describing. This is an angry text. You are caught. When you will realize that. Okay, I don't know. Oh, it was supposed to be a comma, not a period. When you will realize that, I don't know. Okay, so this is, maybe I'm reading some context into it, some emotion, but it doesn't sound very friendly. That's all.
no, definitely not friendly. All right.
Marie, basically?
And when he said it was going to get real bad for you, what is the context of that? Was there something behind that threat?
I imagine there was, but I couldn't imagine what it was, but I didn't know what he was capable of. So that bothered me. It worried me.
Hey, Gigi.
He says, I promise you the punishment will be better than the lie. To your understanding,
That
what
was
did he
from
mean by
Jodi
that?
to Travis, is my understanding.
I don't know. He just,
It says
Had he
outgoing.
threatened to do something to you outside of this conversation?
not up to this point, he hadn't.
Okay.
So I didn't know what he was talking about.
Okay, so no, that was to Travis from Jodi. Okay, there it is. Nothing else from you.
So
I want to talk to you now
You
about
insult me by
a text
thinking I'll
message
believe
conversation.
such crap. Nothing else from you till the truth. I already know you're lying, so why continue? After tomorrow, it's gonna get really bad for you. Time to spit it out. So that's from Travis to Jodi. So he's obviously angry about something.
Yeah. Defense lawyer today has his funeral costume with his Christmas tie on.
Conversation you had with Mr. Alexander on April 8th, 2008. I'm going to hand you what's been marked Exhibit 445.
Oh, hey,
Hi,
Gigi.
Johanna.
Do that to yourself, please.
So it's not just we're gonna be friends from afar. It's he broke up with you. He caught you in some sort of lie, and now he's done with you. I mean, he says unless you tell the truth, it's gonna get worse for you. But I don't think there's a.
Have you read them all?
Yeah. That sounds. It went from okay, let's continue seeing each other because he apparently wants to keep the bang.
Well,
But
during these trials, very few of the text messages have actually been seen by us. So that's why I wanted to grab it real quick. She's testifying as, I mean, whatever, we still had a chance.
Yeah, but it seems like in close proximity to the event, he got really mad about something. A lie she told him. And more or less foot in arse, out you go. And then something, and I would assume the prosecutor will read it in full in an angry voice.
Yeah, probably. He reads everything in an angry voice, but definitely these.
Yeah.
Angry little elf.
Yes, I've read them.
Do you recognize them?
Yes.
Without telling us exactly what was said, what was the context of the conversation on April 18th?
I had left town, obviously. I think I was just back in Wairika, and he discovered that I left a drawing behind that he gave me, and it really made him mad. It was just something I forgot as I was moving, and it upset him.
And this is what we talked about last week, this drawing that he had signed?
Yes.
And in terms of his, you talked about the conversation. What effect did the anger that he displayed during this text conversation, what did it have on you? Did it have that same shaking effect we've been talking about?
Yeah, it did. I just wanted to get him calm down and explain to him that wasn't intentional, that it was an accident that I forgot.
You know what's interesting about the hearsay rules?
You're going to move Exhibit 445.
That they have more exceptions than the actual rule.
No, it's a little unbiased towards the defendant in a criminal matter. Because there's no party opponent in a criminal matter, the state's not a party opponent, or there's like no individual that's a party opponent. So you can't admit hearsay testimony under the party opponent exception. So you can't admit Travis's statements through Jodi on direct, but the state can admit Travis's statements.
Oh, because she's a party opponent.
Well, no, not that. They could admit her statements. No, under another hearsay exception, which is when the declarant is unavailable. And the declarant is unavailable because the accused is the one that made him unavailable. So the state can actually get in Travis's statements, but she can't. So she can only testify to the generalities of it. I just don't like that rule. And it's the same thing with it applies to police officers. So if you say to a police officer, I was at my home that night, and he testifies that you said you were not at your home that night. Okay, so that's his testimony. 180 from what you actually said to him. You can't impeach that officer with your own statements unless you testify, because you can't cross him on your own statements, but he can freely admit it all. This is another reason why you don't talk to the police, because they can literally say whatever and you can't cross.
Unless there's a video of it.
Unless there's video of it,
yeah. But, I saw this on not that long ago. You could see two guys, there are guys out filming cops all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Just to try to catch them in something.
They're fun to watch, but man, those guys are crazy.
Yeah. But you saw, yeah, the usual, just standing there photographing, and all of a sudden 3 cops go off, and you see them do this. And he asked them, "Did you just turn the body cam off?" And no words, no words. Did it acknowledge at all?
Yeah, no, they. I always film my encounters with police, even if they just pull me over on the side of the road. I turn my camera on.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
I mean-
no, I mean, but that's some of the fundamental problems with the hearsay rule in the criminal context. And it just dawned on me why they weren't admitting these exhibits. It's because they don't have a stipulation, and the other side's not allowing it. It's technically hearsay.
Explaining the hearsay rule is it's like explaining the offside rule in soccer.
It took Ted Lasso 3 seasons to figure it out.
5 in the evidence.
Yeah, and silence.
So Bundy was a Mormon? I didn't know that.
Okay, I had no idea.
He was a faux Mormon. Joined for the appearance. See, I wouldn't join for the appearance, but to each their own, and depending on what your goals are.
Yeah,
because it has a negative connotation to it. Except the offside rules is easy. Matt says, "Okay, Matt, explain to me the offside rules in one chat. You're limited to what? 100 characters? Go."
I don't have any objection to, if the foundation that we talked about is there, I don't have any objection to the majority of it. However, the end portion of the text message talks about Sedona and.
Judge, if we're going to have this complex of discussion, we should have it at bench.
Right.
Oh, God, more bench conferences. Conference at the Mound. I don't care. Just get to cross. Your story's not making sense. Yeah, I have nothing else to say. I've already talked about my hearsay issues. Anyone believing Jodi this far? Anyone buying her stories? There's a lot of plot holes for her. Nick?
sorry. I was trying to write down the offside rule in one chat.
You were taking up that challenge. I have no idea what the offside rules is. I'll simp for Jodi. A player must only receive the ball if he is either on his own half of the pitch or if there is at least 2 players in front when the ball is kicked. That's right. Okay, so if the ball is kicked from the opposing team's side to your side, it's considered offsides if the other player catches it, unless there's 2 other players between him and the ball, right?
A goalkeeper and 1 outfield player.
I don't know what the purpose of the offside rules is. Like, what are we trying to prevent happening? Like, why would we have that rule?
It's a very old rule, but it's more or less to avoid. Back in the day, they would just kick the ball up and have 1 of your teammates waiting at their goalpost. And that made a very, very boring game.
I see. Okay, so one guy would just be standing over there by the goal, and then they'd kick it way out, and he'd grab it and try to kick it in. When the rest of all the other players are down at the other side. I see.
Miss Arias, do us a favor. And
also, one of the rules that showed up maybe 20 years ago is you can pass back to your own goalie, and the goalie pick it up with the hands. Also, because that was very disturbing to the game, because if you were up 2-1, all of a sudden you just passed the ball back to the goalkeeper, who threw it out, passed it back, threw it out, passed it back, and destroyed the game. So
okay, just like in the NHL. Yeah, very similar to NHL. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, I have controls over Nick's stream. I could just send it private if he gets too many likes.
Let me draw your attention to page 79 of that exhibit, or what is denoted as 79 of 132. And drawing your attention again to
Hey, GC.
12332.
Good to see you.
And you're having the discussion about this this signed item. Could you tell us what he says to you in text message 12332?
He says, do not call back. It's a typo, I think. I'm sick of you playing stupid and dealing with childish tactics.
And do you respond to that before he texts you again?
No, it doesn't. Well, I might have been typing a response, but another response or another text message came through before I could respond.
What was the next message you received from him? Could you read that to us?
Yes. It was some stupid ass way of ruining yet another of mine, which you have done so much of. Bitter feelings are brewing in me towards you. I'm sick of having days ruined by you. If it keeps up, I fear I will have a genuine dislike for you. I'm asking you before it gets to that to stop doing it, before I start seeking revenge. Your account with me is overdrawn. P.S. You need to start paying me back, so you better start looking for a job.
Nice. So they got that in.
Paying you
over the
back, is that a
objections.
reference to the BMW?
Again.
They got that in, probably under a effect on the listener rule, hearsay exception. But cool, they got that in.
Okay. Eventually.
Yes.
Okay. Drawing your attention to text message 5044. Your response was to apologize to him. Is that right?
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, if drawing your attention to page 80, is you apologize again and tell him, don't worry, be happy. Is that right?
It's
Don't worry.
one text message broken up 3 times, and it looks like it was sent
Be
twice.
happy.
Okay.
On accident.
But that was the substance of one of the
Arizona
things
is
you
where
said
this
to him,
case
right?
is.
Yes.
Okay.
Mesa, Arizona, the only
Drawing your
county in
attention
Arizona.
to
that seems
page
to
81 of 132 in this exhibit, text message.
Thank you, Dirk, for gifting a membership.
Oh, very cool.
And Alexei Muted got it. Welcome. You have now access to members-only content on my channel and my Discord. Thank you so much.
Message 12335. After you apologize, this text message came after you apologized to him. Is that correct?
Yes.
Could you read that for us?
It's just always something, Jodi. It just gets old. If it was hard for you to take because of sentimental reasons, you shouldn't have asked me to sign it and then made me sign it in ink right away. To leave it after all that was rude and inconsiderate to me, which has been a common trend from you lately. You say you meant to get it, but even if that's true, you put it there so you could leave it and knew it would upset me, but you simply don't care. Just like wasting an entire week of my life sending me on a wild goose chase based on a lie. You just didn't care to be considerate on how all that affects me. I'm trying to save my house, build a business amidst so much conflict, and you don't care about anything that doesn't involve you. It's very upsetting and I'm tired of it. I don't want to deal with anything big or little that is some stupid ploy. You're not sorry. If you
Sounds like
were,
he
you wouldn't
wants to
continue
break up
onward with
with
this
you.
stuff. I'm just asking you to think of me.
Yep.
He's done with you, Jodi. Leave him alone. Move on.
Yep. Jodi, you moved out of state. All you had to do was stay there.
Exactly. Just stay there. He was just an ass buddy. Yeah. Or a sex buddy. Exactly. Yep. That's all she was. She was 3 holes to him. Move on.
Hi, Dave. Yeah, I'm having a virtual background because I am currently downstairs in the construction site part of my house. It looks like this, and that's not fun. So I added this instead.
I'm still in the treehouse.
Oh, thank you, Peace Peony, for $2. Happy Jodi Day! Yay! Happy Jodi Day!
Don't be afraid of super
Me.
chat.
If you would have thought of me for 1 second, you wouldn't have left that there. Imagine if I did that to you with something you gave me. You'd cry for weeks. Just give me a pardon from any madness. I don't need it. It wearing me out, and if it continues, just like I have to give you motivation to tell me the truth, I'll give you motivation to quit screwing with me.
And do you know what that motivation was?
I don't. I mean, I probably imagine the worst.
How did you respond? Going back to the next page, there are referring you to text message 5053, 5054, 5055, and 5057. Could you read those for us? I know that they are, could you read it to us in the order which you typed them? I know they didn't come in that way, but if you could just read it in the order you typed them.
Yeah, the first three you mentioned is, there are only 3 of 4 that showed up. The second one never came through, so it'll
Okay.
be broken up. Never to deliberately upset you, hun. Sorry again. I was just confused in so many ways. I feel like since I left AZ, a fog has lifted and things seem so much. The next message is missing and it goes on to 3. Both have a lot to recover from, but also a lot to be happy about and thankful for. I love you. Things are only getting better now. I know it. I haven't felt this good in so long. I almost forgot what it was like.
What do you mean when you said you hadn't felt this good in so long? What was that a reference to?
I just felt like more like I was like my old self again when I got back to Wairika, and like I was just living in this fog, this almost like a suicidal fog the whole time I was in Arizona, and it was like almost like getting oxygen to get out of
Hey,
there.
Porcelain Thunder, welcome.
Did these conversations you had with Mr. Alexander, did they draw you back into that fog?
Yes.
Looking at text message 5060 on that same page, there's a reference to a phone call. Do you see that there?
Yes, I do.
What, a
You
Jodi
say
wig
thank you
and
for
glasses?
calling and say that was very nice of you. This phone call then, was Mr. Alexander once again apologetic?
Yes, he was apologetic. I mean, he felt justified, but he was apologetic and he was nicer. I forgot to read one of the text messages that you asked me to read.
Which one was that?
5057.
Okay, go ahead and read that for us.
It just says, now that that's all behind us, let us just chalk it up to that chalk up that drawing to one last ditzy thing. I honestly forgot to grab it after I put it there. I think it's the second part of the text message didn't come through.
Okay. So just to clarify then, what you're saying here and what your testimony is that you didn't not bring this item with you, this signed item with you, out of some evil intent to ruin Mr. Alexander's day. Is that right?
Speaks for itself, leading.
Sustained.
Did you forget this drawing out of a desire to ruin Mr. Alexander's day?
No,
As a matter of fact, you didn't want to do anything that would incur his anger at all, did you?
Sustained.
Did you want
He
Mr.
was
Alexander to be angry
always
with you?
in her.
no, never.
Because you'd start shaking if he did, didn't
I
you?
think Valhalla is exactly right.
Would you start shaking if he got mad at you?
Yeah, it depended on his fury and his wrath.
When he swore at you?
Yes,
When he called you a whore?
Wrath.
yes,
A slut?
yes.
That made you shake. You were scared, right? Were you
Or
scared?
mad. Were you mad
Did you
enough
like it when he called you a three-hole wonder?
to stab
No.
him? I think you were. Yeah, she
Let's
was
talk
definitely
about
mad enough to stab
A
him.
conversation you had with Mr. Alexander on the 19th of April, 2008, that has been marked Exhibit 446. And if you could just do us a favor and read that to yourself.
Yes, Porcelain Thunder. Three-hole wonder. That was what Mr. Alexander called Jodi.
Yep, to her face and to his friends.
Yeah.
It's the three-hole wonder.
Yeah.
That's why
And
if
if-
you're in my chat, you do have access, or if you remember it anyways, you do have access to the three-hole wonder emoji, which I just threw.
Yeah. And if you go back to last Tuesday, you could hear Jodi herself saying the words three-hole wonder.
Yeah, I missed that. Mm.
That was amazing. Oh, I had Mo in the deep end on, and she cracked down. She just cracked. I mean, it was amazing to see. Oh.
And the Provo push.
Oh, soaking.
Soaking. You guys know what soaking is? Ask Nick if you guys don't know what soaking and Provo push is.
Or better yet, next time Jeff is streaming, ask him to describe soaking and proto push. All right, she is reading.
Yes.
Do you remember well, let me ask you this first. What was the subject matter of this text conversation?
God,
I was
how
telling
do
him
you-
a story on the phone, and he asked me to get to the point, and I think my feelings were hurt, so I said something to the effect of, like, I always listen to him when he wants to tell a story, even if it goes a long time.
And was that well received by him?
No.
Welcome, Pranav Oja. As a new member, welcome. There are members-only content on my channel, and there should be a link to my Discord as well. That's another member speak. Yeah. So thank you for joining. Let's continue to the next big pause, because it's Tuesday. Tuesdays is normally a shorter day.
Yes.
And so we can, round off this day a bit.
And you were living in Wairika at the time of these text messages?
Yes.
His anger still affected you then on April 19th, 2008?
Staying.
Did his anger still affect you on April 19th, 2008?
Yes.
I want to know who that black woman is sitting next to the other defense attorney.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to admit Exhibit 446.
Must be,
We speculated that she's an expert witness in the case, but I don't know.
yeah, maybe.
Soaking is when you slip it inside and just lie there. The Provo push is a third party engages the individuals to complete the act.
Yeah.
It's a workaround.
No objection if his avowal stands that he'll tie it up later.
Is that correct, Mr. Newry?
That is, Your Honor.
446 is admitted.
Yeah. So
Jodi, I'm going to hand you
soap,
back.
and then you have somebody shake the bed.
Yep. I can see
Did
when
you
we
need to
hit
refer back
pass,
to it?
but I don't know.
During this conversation, you recall there was some discussion regarding his public speaking, or you were commenting on his public speaking, correct?
Yes.
How did that come to, was your feedback something that he asked for?
No.
Why was it offered?
I think because he criticized me and told me to hurry up, so.
He criticized you for what?
For taking too long to
Taking too long to what?
say what I was telling him.
Okay. And how did that lead to talking about his public speaking skills? Or you speaking, excuse me, about his public speaking skills?
I tried to make a joke and tell him that I said, you're a little long-winded yourself sometimes when you're speaking.
And that was the part that wasn't well received by you, is that right?
Yes,
Or by him, excuse me.
that's correct.
Looks
Did he
like
want
day
to talk to
20.
you more after that?
Day 20 is cross.
Eventually, yes.
Yeah,
But during that text conversation, did he want to end the conversation?
Lunch or something.
He kept
Yeah.
saying that, I think, but he kept texting me, so.
Okay. During this
Yeah, the end
text
of the-
conversation as well, he wanted you to do something or do a project for him. What was that project?
He wanted me to upload some photos, shrink the file size and email them to him.
Yeah, and
I guess maybe day 21 is cross.
not only text, but don't write things down you don't want to have read up in the court.
Mm-hmm.
And were you still working for him? I mean, were you still getting paid to do activities for him?
No,
Okay. He was just asking you to do this as a favor, I guess?
Right, as a favor.
Okay. And in this text conversation, it sounds like you were doing something else instead. What was that?
I was editing wedding photos at the moment.
You say wedding photos. Where did these photos come from?
I photographed my cousin's wedding in March, and it was coming up on almost a month of her not having the photos yet, and I just had 12 more to go, and I wanted to get her the CDs so she could have her wedding photos.
So in this conversation was Mr. Alexander, and this was your budding business, so this is what you wanted to be your business, wedding photography, part of it anyway, right?
Yes, it was my fledgling business.
Okay. Did Mr. Alexander get upset with you, as demonstrated by these text messages, for putting your business interests ahead of his desires to have this work done?
That's what the text messages say.
Restate your question.
You've reviewed these text messages, right?
Yes.
Did he get angry that you put your own business interests in front of his own desires?
Yes, he wanted me to drop what I was doing and do his photos real fast.
But you didn't have time because you had your own work to do. Is that fair to say?
Restate.
Let's talk about another conversation you had with him. Well, let me ask you this, just as a follow-up. After this text conversation, the one we were just referring to, did you wind up doing the project for Mr. Alexander?
Not that night.
Okay. When did you wind up doing it?
It got done eventually, probably, I don't know when. All I know is that night my computer froze and it wouldn't unfreeze.
Why did you do that project for him?
He was trying to start a Facebook page for his dog, and I took pictures of Napoleon, and he wanted those photos. So he could have photos on the Facebook page of Napoleon.
Okay, that explains to me why he wanted it. What I was asking you is why were you doing it for him as opposed to him taking care of his own business?
I don't think he didn't have a nice camera, and I had good photos, and I liked taking pictures and sharing them, and I wasn't going to keep them. It was his dog, so I wanted him to have them. He wanted them for the Facebook page, so that's why I did them.
Okay.
How long can shorts be? That's a good question, isn't it?
What's been more?
59 seconds on YouTube, I think.
You can just read that to yourself, please.
Oh, shorts. I meant I thought he was talking about short pants. Yeah, 60 seconds, I think. You can go a little bit more. Yeah. I can't remember. I've had to edit some stuff down.
Yeah, but shorts, I don't know if they count into the overall viewer
They
hours.
don't. You can upload a short video just under your videos, and it'll still be spread around.
Yeah, so you can do like a 5-minute video with a bit of repeat, and then make a short as well to boost both.
My original reading actually forms a question. At what point do shorts become pants, or in the other way, at what point do shorts become thongs, I guess?
Well, shorts leave something to the imagination.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, because you have shorts, then you have the pirate pants or something. Then you have, I don't know.
Yeah, Old Line Red, I agree. There's always some mishap going on in her life, which she's going to claim is everyone else but her. Her computer froze. She ruined the car. The phone was in hot chocolate. It's just, there's always something going on in her life that is just a disaster. And it couldn't possibly be her, right? Because everyone's life always has everything disastrous in it, right?
Hold on. It also depends on who's wearing the shorts, because some people can wear short shorts and okay, some can't. And have you heard the band Motorhead?
Yes. Of course.
And you know the lead singer, bass player, Lemmy Kilminster?
I don't know him.
Yeah, I don't know. But
He wears short
this
shorts.
is his version.
That seems about right. Is that the early 80s?
Early 80s.
Yeah, that seems about right. Ladies, what do you think?
Yeah, it's up to you, ladies. Would you walk up to this guy?
Daisy Dukes are the shortest shorts.
Daisy Dukes are the shortest shorts. Yeah, that's when your ass completely hangs out. But I mean, we're an hour and 20 minutes in. She's now reading something.
We can call it a day. We'll
Yeah,
be
we
back
can
here on
call it-
Saturday.
Yeah, come back. We will be back here on Saturday, noon US Eastern, 6 p.m. Swedish time. And I'm going to send everybody over to Baker. I don't know if he has a verdict, but they had to restart the verdict watch.
Yep. Yeah. That's where I'm sending all of you as well. I gave them a heads up that we were sending people over. Right now they're playing that word game thing. But I don't know when they're supposed to restart.
Yeah, they had to get rid of 2 jurors and an alternate.
It's really weird.
And start over the deliberations. How does that don't get to a mistrial?
Well, it doesn't necessarily. I don't know why they were removed. However, there are some questions apparently being posed by the jury as to what the punishment will be, which leads me to believe that there are some jurors that are adamant that she's not guilty or adamant that they didn't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. And there's a larger pack of jurors that are saying she's guilty. And the ones that are saying she's not guilty don't want to see her punished. And so they want to know, well, could she be sentenced to maybe time served, or what's she got to get? If I switch my vote over to guilty just to appease these other jurors, what is she actually going to get punished for? And they're not supposed to. I've had this conversation with my mom before, and she's always saying, I don't think I could sentence somebody to jail. And I always tell her, you're not supposed to consider that, right? You don't know what their punishment could be. It could be probation, right, on any given case. And so you're not supposed to consider that. But she always will. And she's like, I don't know. It's, I'm not certain enough that I could ever sentence someone to jail. So she would always vote to acquit. And so there might be people like that on the jury.
Yeah, and you never know what, because they sent over a note on Friday.
Yeah, they won over today.
Yeah, and then he conducted interviews with the jurors, and all of a sudden 2 jurors are out, 1 alternate are out, and deliberations are restarted. So whatever those interviews were, both the defense and the prosecution will go through those records with a fine-tooth comb. Because if there is a conviction, you can bet your ass that the defense will try to have it overturned, depending on what's in the record.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. So it'd be really interesting to see if they come back with a verdict today, now that 2 people have been substituted out. And
and if it's guilty, after 2 plus alternate are thrown out, and all of a sudden, boom, guilty. That would be, All
the
right,
judge looks like a mixture between tired and pissed. He does, but he did it to himself.
Yeah. And I see we are at 46 likes each.
Yeah, 46 likes each. All right, that's a tie. I got 2 memberships, you got 1, and you got more super chats.
Yeah.
So we again tie.
I mean, yeah.
This is like turning into Europe. Everything ends in a tie.
Yeah. It's like watching soccer, where you can play for 90 minutes, nobody scores, and everybody cheers. And
Thank you, Danny, for tickling both of our buttons. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Next time, MLS is going to dominate over Nick. Just so everyone has a heads up. We do for the Saturday stream. Don't forget to subscribe, like if you're a new member, which I don't think I got any new members, just returning members. But if you happen to be a new member watching this on repeat, click the member tab on my YouTube, and it'll take you to a link to my Discord where we have a lot of member content, including more of Hunt a Killer. Box 3 is already posted, so you guys can get a head start on that. Get out in front of Eris and Murphs, who seem to be dominating that game in Discord.
Ooh, Fedoreski shared the first verse of Killed by Death with Baker's chat earlier. Yeah, that song, Killed by Death, is brutal. It's amazing.
I don't know that song. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yep. Yeah, you do that. Sadly, Lemmy passed away. It's 8 years now. 8 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago. Jesus. Yeah.
Motorhead.
But all right.
Y'all have a good night. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for joining. Welcome back on Saturday. Tomorrow I will have an update on the Young Thug, the RICO trial. Trying to find out if there's a trial date set. But also apparently one of the defendants in the RICO trial has provided the court with an alibi for one of the murders that are in the RICO. And if that's thrown out, all of a sudden, well, now you have a RICO trial about small-time drug possessions, weapons possessions. I mean,
very interesting.
Very interesting, because with only those small-time crook crimes, the RICO trial is unnecessary.
Yeah, that case is just a disaster, and it needs to be broken apart like that, and charges needed to be dismissed in that case, from what I hear anyways. I haven't been watching it like you do, but that is just a mess of a case.
Yeah, but everybody, thank you so much for showing up. I'm actually going to play something that I forgot on Friday before we leave. This is about yesterday's wrongful conviction day.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'm going to play this as an outro.
Okay, let me see.
But let me at least say, because I know Nicholas, there might be some lag to this. I see you're kind of skipping around, but Nicholas in particular has been part of the group for a long time. Early in, recognized that it was bogus early in, and I appreciate all the help, and he's still here, and it's super cool, and I really appreciate that kind of stuff. And I know anybody that actually bothers to look is going to know how bogus this is, and it's really hard to get people to take notice in the first place. But I know he's been out there, and I know he's been doing things, and I know he's been connected, and I want to go visit the guy, and be on the show and go visit the guy and all sorts of stuff. I mean, I just think it's super cool. All the help, thank you. Super cool, and I appreciate it. And everybody else too, but yeah, he's in particular, I don't know, he jumps smart. When people talk about like other people's shows, I don't really know other people's shows, but I know his, because his was like one of the first ones that got mentioned, and I'm like, really, somebody's actually doing something about the case? I'm like, oh, that's cool. So anyway, I don't know the guy, but really appreciate it.
That's cool. When was that?
That was a few months ago, but
okay, that's very cool.
Yeah,
we're still live, by the way. I didn't know if you knew.
No, I knew. Cool. I knew that instead of Jodi outro, I thought I'll play this as an outro instead.
No, that's very cool.
Yeah. Okay, sending you all off to Baker and.